Our goal tonight is going to give you an update on this project. We've been working on this project since 2017 and have met with your community on several occasions, especially the CDE. So we're bringing this to your board tonight just as an informational item for you. First up, a little bit about who Tampa Bay Water is. We are a state entity that just does drinking water. We are the regional supplier for the Tri-County area, which includes Pasco, Hillsborough, and Pinellas counties, and then the cities of Newport Richey, Tampa, and St. Petersburg. Those entities in turn will take that water and sell it on to their residential and commercial customers. So we originate that water over wholesale. We are a non-for-profit governmental entity and have been in our current state as Tampa Bay Water since 1998. These are, as we said, our member governments. We do serve in total a little over 200 million gallons of drinking water every day. And that's to about 2.6 million customers in the Tri-County area. Right now, we have enough water to meet our region's drinking water needs for the next 7 years. But our region's growing, and as the region grows, so does the need for drinking water. So we are developing new water supplies to come online in 2028 and then again in 2033 to continue to meet the need of the growing area. I do want to note that Tampa Bay Water is not a growth entity. That is your county commission. We just meet the needs as the county requests them. Okay. So this pipeline is important for Hillsborough County especially. Their current distribution system needs to be expanded to meet the growth, especially in the southern Hillsborough County area. The Hillsborough County is planning to put a future drinking water facility in Balm, which is going to be near the intersection of Balm Riverview, Balm Road, and Balm Boyette roads. We need to be able to service that new water treatment facility with the pipeline. This is what this pipeline is going to be doing. Pipeline will be 26 miles long. And it's going to range in size from 3 feet to 5 feet in diameter, 36 to 60 inches in diameter. The route starts at our regional facility site, which is shown on this map by a blue box in the top left of the map. It's going to go through Brandon, Bloomingdale to Boyette Road, where it heads east to the Lithia Water Treatment Plant. And then it's going to continue south to Hillsborough County's new future drinking water facility site near 672. The pipeline route was approved by Tampa Bay Water's Board of Directors and requested by Hillsborough County in its current state. The total estimate for this job is $505 million, which includes some county infrastructure. Estimated costs will be updated when the final design of this pipeline has been created and approved. Pipeline is broken into 2 segments. Segment A of the pipeline is being funded by Tampa Bay Water and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. And Tampa Bay Water has already received $4.5 million from Southwest Florida Water Management District. And then earlier this year, we got a new agreement for an additional $147 million from SWIP Fund. Hillsborough County is paying for segment B, which is going to, is estimated cost about $84 million. We know that you're most concerned about this project as it affects your homes and community here. So we're going to talk a little bit about the roads and the impacts. We're going to start at the intersection of McMullen Road and Boyette Road. There's going to be a tunnel at that intersection. Then we'll be open cutting east along the westbound lanes of Boyette Road. This is going to be able to maintain two-way traffic on Boyette at all times, primarily using the eastbound lanes with one lane for eastbound and one for westbound. This will be a moving construction area as it goes down the road, so that won't stay in any one place any length of time, but it will be steadily advancing as we move down the road. This is going to continue westbound lanes of Boyette Road until it reaches a tunnel on the west side of Bell Creek. This tunnel is going to extend from the west side of Bell Creek to the east side of Bell Shoals Road. From there, it's going to continue east onto Fishhawk Boulevard. We're always going to maintain that two-way traffic on Fishhawk, primarily using the westbound lanes with one for eastbound and one for westbound.
What's the timeline for that construction? Because that's gonna create a huge traffic change.
There's gonna be a lot of impacts. Can I come to your question at the end?
Sure.
Okay. So then continuing on Fishhawk, east of Osprey Ridge, the pipeline is gonna shift back into the eastbound lane of Fishhawk for approximately 2,000 feet, and then south again out of Fishhawk Boulevard. There's gonna be a temporary drive lane that'll be added to the westbound lane of Fishhawk Boulevard. Again, we're gonna try to maintain that two-way traffic through that segment as it goes through. The route crosses with a tunnel, and then goes to Hillsborough's Lithia Water Treatment Plant, which is located behind the high school there. Just to give you a reference of where that endpoint is. Segment B starts as a T connection off of the pipeline in Fishhawk Boulevard, east of Hometown Lane. Following the blue line, the route heads south along the eastern edge of Fishhawk Ranch Community Development District along the trail and continues cross country to Boyette Road. Oops. The trail will be closed while construction is ongoing in that area and will last for about 6 months in that area. The pipeline will then be tunneled underneath Boyette Road and continue south. Based on comments from the residents who live in this area, we were able to revise the alignment which travels behind Fishhawk Ranch West, north of Boyette Road. The new alignment, which still requires approval, follows an unpaved trail with a construction easement. If approved, that new alignment will reduce impacts to trees since it takes advantage of a previously altered pathway. The route is also shorter, so it will have a lower construction cost and reduce total time impact to residents. The new route, it also minimizes impacts to Boyette Road as it's adjacent to existing Tampa Bay water easement there on Boyette. And will then cross Boyette via tunnel. Now, in order to move forward with that alignment, the project team must acquire easements from Fishhawk Ranch Community Development District, CDD, and from Hillsborough County. We do want to thank residents of Fishhawk for their input in helping us to refine that portion of the pipeline. Moving on, the pipeline turns east on Boyette Road before tunneling and heading south along the west side of Boyette Road in the easement until it crosses Boyette again with a tunnel to the east side. This route continues past Rodine Road and crosses Boyette Road again with a tunnel south. From that tunnel, it heads through an easement and turns east, crossing Balm Boyette Road with another tunnel and then continuing south along the east side of Balm Boyette Road. The pipeline continues south along the east side of Balm Boyette Road until it crosses back into Hillsborough County's future drinking water facility property, which is north of County Road 672. That's going to be the southern end. We want to give you some general information about the types of pipelines and how they're going to be installed. Before construction begins, we have to dewater the area where trenches and tunneling beds will be excavated. We do this by installing shallow wells that are connected to a small diameter temporary pipeline that will direct water away from the construction area. The wells are pumped continuously to dewater those areas. Dewatering systems must run 24 hours a day until construction in that area is complete. These systems include noise minimizing diesel pumps and small diameter temporary pipelines to direct water away from the construction areas so that tunnel pits and shafts can be safely built. Once an area is dewatered, then excavation can begin. Crews will install the South Hillsborough pipeline using open cut and trenchless or tunneling construction methods. For open cut construction, crews will use heavy equipment to excavate trenches in which they will place boxes to keep their crews safe while installing the pipe segments. After the pipe is installed, crews will remove the trench boxes and backfill those trenches. If roads are disturbed during construction, a temporary drivable surface will be placed. Once construction is complete, all disturbed roadways will be repaved and restriped. All construction areas will be restored to the same or better conditions than before construction began. Pipe installation being open cut, it will progress in a roughly 3-block roll of closure. With this closure, only local traffic will be allowed, no through traffic. Block lengths vary depending on the intersecting streets and the overall geography of the area and those normal traffic patterns. However, we're roughly defining a block as 500 feet. The forward yellow block will be for preparation work such as saw cutting pavement, locating utilities, installing dewatering well plants and staging materials. The center red block is where active trenching and pipe installation activities are going to take place. And then the back green block is for restoration activities such as restoring curbs, sidewalks, driveways, asphalt pavement, and grass. Trenchless construction is basically plowing under roads and waterways using special equipment and special construction techniques. This allows us to cross roadways and waterways with less impact to those roads and environmental features. If a tunnel boring machine is used, pits are excavated on each side of the crossing, whether that's a road, a river, a stream, a railroad. And then a tunnel boring machine is placed in one pit and tunnels to the other, installing the pipeline while simultaneously excavating. This operation will stay in place until the tunneling is completed. We know the project will have temporary impacts to the community, which is why we're here today. There will be traffic impacts, such as those lane closures we discussed earlier and detours, all of which will be clearly marked and noticed in advance. Maintaining access to homes and businesses is a priority. Construction is noisy and dusty, but we will have noise abatement practices in place, and we use water trucks to control dust. So, thanks to Paul. There could be some short-term service interruptions for water or sewer if we have to relocate any of those utilities, but those impacted residents will be notified in advance, and they will only last for a few hours at a time. Please be assured we'll make every effort to minimize those impacts to you and the community. And as construction approaches your neighborhood, we will be keeping you fully informed. Even before construction begins, you may notice some work occurring along the pipeline. This may be surveyors who are identifying existing utilities, or maybe workers clearing trees or trimming tree canopies where construction will eventually take place. If any properties are directly adjacent to the pipeline route, prior to the start of construction in your area, the construction team will offer you a pre-construction interior and exterior survey of your home. These inspections include video, photographic, and written documentation of your properties before condition. You will receive a certified letter from our seismic surveyor, which is the company performing these surveys. We encourage you to take advantage of those pre-inspections. Here's our project schedule. Right now, engineers are working on the 100% design plans, while Tampa Bay Water and its land agents are negotiating with property owners on temporary and permanent construction easements. Construction is scheduled to begin in just a few months, pending final design, property acquisition, and permitting. In your area, we are tentatively slated to tunnel under Boyette Road, Little Fishhawk Creek, and Fishhawk Creek in October of this year. We will start open cut construction beginning at the north end of this section in March of 2026. However, this sequence and timing could change. For example, we can begin at the south end and work our way north. We'll keep you informed once the schedule is firmed up. Construction will continue through 2028, and the pipeline is scheduled to be in service by December of 2028. We also wanted to let you know about an open house we'll be holding in your area. This is specifically for road and lane closures exceeding 30 days duration for construction of the South Hillsborough pipeline. The meeting for sections 4 and 5, which are shown in gray on this map and red on this map, will be on Wednesday, July 16th at St. Stephen's Church. This is an open house style meeting, so you can drop in anytime between 6 and 7:30. There are no road or lane closures longer than 30 days expected south of Boyette Road. If you cannot attend this meeting in person, you can still learn about the closures and provide input by going to southhillsborough.com/closure-survey. The Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners would consider these closures at their August 6th meeting. For more information, or if you have any other questions, you can contact us at the phone number shown here. Send an email to shpinfo@tampabaywater.org or visit the project website at southhillsboroughpipeline.com. Also, the best way to stay up to date on the project, including getting the latest information, detours, and construction, is to sign up for email alerts at southhillsboroughpipeline.com/contact. Thank you, and if you have any questions, Our team is happy to answer them now, but first, let me introduce who is here with me today. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Justin Fox, representing Tampa Bay Water. In the back here, we have Sully Rojas, who is our project manager, Jared Park with Stantec, who is our design engineer, and then we have Sam, Kyle, and who am I missing? What's that? And Miles, right, in the corner, and then Diane is probably relations here. So, if you have a question I can't answer, I may kick it to one of them. For that. So, you had a question about timing along Boyette.
Now along, well, Boyette down to Fishhawk, all the way down to the high school. So how,
Okay.
because I don't know if any of you are in the area, but if you live in this area, taking that road down to one lane is ludicrous. We've spent 5 years waiting for them to expand. But what is it, Bell Shoals? That was a nightmare. You want to take your commute and double it? You just did that for every resident that lives south of McMullen. For how many years?
The overall project will be until the end of 2028. However, we're not working that entire time along there.
What is scheduled for that route?
You recall, Sam,
From McMullen all the way to to the water to Newsom, which is where the water is, right? So the road interruption. Because we go from 2 lanes down to 1 lane when you get to Wawa, or actually past our little subdivision here.
Right.
And if you've ever done this when school's in, you have 2 schools, you have Bell Shoals Academy and Bell Creek. Good luck. Trying to get out of here takes a half an hour with 2 lanes. You're gonna go down to 1 lane and all those people going in and out of those schools. What are you doing for that?
So the maintenance and traffic plans are currently still being developed. This, to answer your question on timing, the first act, it's gonna be a phased approach, so it's not gonna be the whole distance all at once. The first activity you're gonna see are the trenchless installations, which are scheduled to start this fall. And then open cut activities will start after the first of the year. You can expect to see construction activity in various phases along that stretch, midway through 2028.
So for 3 years, we're gonna have 1 way in and 1 way out with 1 road, because there is no other way in or out.
All portion of the, not the entire stretch. Yes.
That's horrible. It's absolutely horrible because there's no way in and out of here. When Bell Shoals was under construction, that's one of the only 3 ways in, right? Lithia Pinecrest, Bell Shoals, or all the way out to McMullen. You're taking one of those away you're gonna go down to 1 lane in each direction. This little area right here, not even south of us, is 1,200. So I mean, you're taking people's lives and turning them upside down for this, for 3 years. And then you've got 2 schools where you're gonna be boring through underneath where the 2 schools are at. On the other side, because you got the Wawa, so I'm assuming you're gonna do it where the 7-Eleven is, and then there's nothing on the other side.
Right, we're going from, basically, there's gonna be a pit in front of the 7-Eleven in the eastbound lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's gonna tunnel from there all the way to the west side of Bell Creek.
So that area there is where most of the people drop their kids off for Bell Creek Academy. So you're gonna have a whole bunch of kids also trying to get through that intersection during construction.
The reason that we made that, we designed that as a tunnel was to help mitigate traffic.
But there's also gonna be kids in an open construction area with people coming to pick them up. I welcome any of you to come when school is in and go at 7 o'clock in the morning and try to get out of this subdivision in under a half an hour past that road.
The stretch you're talking about, there will be traffic diversions there, but the active construction will be on either side of it, because the tunnel will not have any impact within that area.
But when we close down to 1 lane road, how are you gonna do a 1 lane road when you have 2 schools on either end trying to get in and out?
I understand, appreciate your concern. This route which goes the county, and
How many people from the county came out here and actually drove it? Right? It's really easy to look at a map and say, yeah, we're gonna do this, and without any forethought to the impact on people's lives. And to do that for such a major stretch, and the only major road that takes you in and out of these neighborhoods, to go down to 1 lane for 3 years. I think there's gotta be a better way.
yeah, it's not gonna be the full 3 years, it's gonna be phased, but I hear you, and I appreciate.
Even if it's 2 years, even if it's 1 year. You're taking the only major in and out road for all of these communities down to one lane. You're never gonna be able to get in and out of here. People go to work, people go to McDill, people go all over the place. I think there has to be more forethought to that.
So I will, we're gonna open it up to comments online. The gentleman and lady that are here today, it's important to note that they're not the decision makers. They're here carrying the information to us. If somebody wants to affect the decision makers, would you put the slide back up at the meeting time and place, please? Thanks, sir. Thank you. So section 4 and 5 is Wednesday, July 16th, correct? So section 5 is the area in red. And then the area in yellow, which goes behind Fishhawk West. When is that meeting for section 6?
That one does not need a formal public meeting because it's not.
No lane closures.
Okay,
There's no road closure. Yeah.
This is specific.
It's the gray and red.
County has an
Got it.
ordinance, and anytime you're asking for a road closure over 30 days, you just have a public meeting. So because of
That's
the
the meeting.
asking for road closures for those sections south.
Yep.
You don't have.
so to affect the decision makers, July 16th at St. Stephen's Church is the place you need to be. Is the entire pipeline going to be underground, or will there be portions of it that are exposed, so permanently going to be above ground?
99% is below ground.
Okay,
We will have sections that have plants and other very minor places that come up, but the idea is the public forgets all about this once it's in the ground.
sure.
The only thing that you are gonna notice is your water pressure is going back up, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not having water trouble.
And I will add too that the necessity for this pipeline, which by the way, I don't like, I'm not a fan of this, comes from the fact that construction has exploded in this area. So if you really want to affect this, the people that you vote for in November, appoint the people that approve the construction. So that is where you can really affect things like this in the future.
I did mention that, just want to review that Tampa Bay Water has no authority to stop or hold up or delay development.
Right.
Or the way we are governmentally structured is Hillsborough County is one of our customers, well, the 6 I showed you. If they request that water, we're required to deliver that to them. We cannot refuse that. It's gonna be your counties and your cities that you can have development concerns, you gotta release their attention.
Are there any other questions from board members or anyone in the room or anyone online? In the room, you can raise your hand. Online, just come off of mute.
Is this information available in the web?
It is, this is also available on our website, which is at southhillsboroughpipeline.com. We've got lots of information articles from there.
And anyone online questions? I see no one coming off mute, so. This is the chance. Anyone can think of any questions that someone in the community might have. Let's see. Let me look at the Facebook page.
I asked them.
Well,
I don't have a particular question, Mark. This is Rebecca. I don't have a particular question, but I definitely would, second Kevin's recommendation to have those that are designing the road closures and the lanes and the traffic to come to this area, when school's in between 7 in the morning and 8:45. Because it literally already with the roads as they are currently take 30 to 40 minutes to get out of the neighborhood today without those road closures. So I think the design of that is going to be really important.
Yeah, it's really school in and school out is when they need to see it.
is construction going to be done at night or day?
Daytime?
Yeah.
So you're not gonna do any overnight?
It's good. There are some sections along the route that we're gonna have to do it at night, but this stretch is not that night. To construct that much of the route at night. And it's gonna be Monday through Saturday.
For 3 years.
It would be better if it was at night. Yeah, it would affect the community less. I don't know if anyone has any say in recommending that. I assume that comes into paying construction workers more for working overnight or something, but
The issue is part of the issue, because the size and scope of this project, it's a 5-foot diameter pipe, you can imagine the size of it, but talking about it is, it's not feasible to pull everything off the road and open it back up, and not both the hours.
Right.
So even if we worked at night, you're still gonna have closures in place.
Tracking.
It's a huge excavation, huge equipment.
Right.
It's a dirt moving product.
No, I get it, but there's nowhere to put a detour.
Yeah.
There's only one road in and one road out. There's no detour. There's nowhere for anybody in this community or the community south of us to get around it.
I mean, you're talking.
Well, right there wasn't a there's something on Fishhawk Boulevard that's a detour, but not right where you're talking about.
No, especially if you go towards Newsom. I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking one of the biggest high schools in Hillsborough.
That's where
And you're
some,
cutting
that's
off
where it had a
6,000 homes to the west. They have no way to get to the school at all.
Yeah,
Right,
but
and on a rainy day, literally my kids have missed class for the first 2 periods because it took them an hour to go from literally this subdivision to Newsom, and now you're gonna, and
There's no way around it.
there's no way for the kids can't spend 2 hours in the car to get to school and to get home. That's just not realistic. So I know it's not your decision, and I will be at that meeting, because obviously somebody has not come and driven out here to make a decision.
but I think what you were trying to say is that meeting may not be what we're thinking that meeting is.
You're,
Like the decision makers aren't at that meeting, right?
you're gonna have people like me.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So there's no decision makers at that meeting either.
No, they have. Why would they do?
Just
Yes.
yeah, types, I think of what you're referring to, you're gonna be filled. Yeah, I don't think they.
So I would encourage everybody online and everybody in this general vicinity to light up the Hillsborough County Commissioner's Office and give them help. Because they are elected public officials.
Yeah, it is gonna be a disaster. Yes. Because right now, to get from the circle on Boyette, or Boyette and Barrington Stores running into each other to
Yeah.
the Wawa on the corner, which is maybe half a mile.
Yeah,
Yeah. So right here, right? So this is
Basically
Boyette.
the yellow, yeah.
To get from this circle to this intersection here
It's half an hour.
is, yeah, it's about 30 minutes right now.
So you can
It's
double
because
that.
you have a school here and a school down here.
And there's a media too, so. you know.
And then you have
Yeah,
2
after-
schools in the
after
neighborhood
7.
on top of it.
Yeah.
So you've got 4 schools within a half a mile of each other.
all trying to go at the same time,
Right.
relative.
Yeah, I wonder.
And go during rush hour.
You have no busing options.
Right.
So unless you force the charter schools to get buses to alleviate traffic, there's no way. And then who's gonna
I
incur
don't
that
think that was
cost?
Mandarin's charter, they're
Right.
coming from everywhere,
Right.
right?
Someone asked a question online. Have you thought of the turtles? Are we aware of the turtles in the, what measures have been taken to protect?
Tortoises.
The
Tortoises, excuse me.
What you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Dover tortoises are protected here in Florida. Our teams are, looking at that. We will be doing, we've already done preliminary surveys on the burrows out there. Most of this is going to be temporary exclusion. Looking at your, yes, no, okay. So as they come through, with one of the permits that we are pursuing, the mini permits for this type of a job, is a temporary exclusion where we set those tortoises back off their burrows as we pass by, and as we open it up, for them to come back and populate again. It's to make sure that we're not damaging, hurting them as we are going.
How are they gonna transverse your pipeline when it's under construction? Because they walk, my house backs up to the
When we say
reserve.
temporary exclusion, we have barriers set up on the side. They are held back temporarily on until we move through, and then those come down, they can go. This back to those. So.
Yeah, to second what Mr. Fox said and Kevin said, the elected officials are the ones that you should talk to. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, those are the ones that ultimately approve a lot of construction in the state. Those are the ones that you want to talk to. These are the places where you want to address your concerns. So that Mr. Fox and his team can design construction projects that meet the needs of the communities that already exist.
One more question. Who is it on the county board that you guys directly talk with about this project?
So we have 2 members of our board, and again, you go on our website and see all this public information. We have a total of 9 elected officials, 2 of which are from most of the county. And that is Commissioner Cohen and Commissioner Woostel. They are both our members.
Owen and
Woostel.
say that again, I'm sorry.
Woostel.
Woostel? Okay. WOSTEL?
Yeah, it's WOSTAL. Don't go me, I'll have to look that thing,
Okay.
unless somebody back here does, that's going. Yeah, okay. Those are the two problems that are you looking at us?
No.
Okay. Those are our two Hillsborough County commissioners.
Okay.
In this, as we did mention earlier, this route was requested specifically by Hillsborough County, because it best suits the needs of their future plans out here as well. They did want a line running at the corner of McMullen and Boyette coming out. And kind of like, what we have under many things, we've got fixed endpoints that we have to get to.
I understand.
It's trying to find that best route through there, and you're absolutely right, there's not many good ways to get.
No.
Down there. But what we are looking at is, it's a short-term thing.
3 years, I would not consider short term, pardon me, but I don't consider
understand
that
the
short
length of
term.
this pipeline is a, nearly 100-year design. So,
Yeah.
in the time scales that we're talking, it's a much longer term game.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, McDill will have the input too. What percentage of the base population can't get to work for 3 years? Like,
It's
You mentioned the sewer interruptions. I would say that in your planning, we found out during the last hurricane how fragile our sewer infrastructure here is when literal sewage was coming up on our street. And so I'm not a sewer expert. I don't know how to fix that, but I would just caution you to be aware of how fragile that system is. And it took 5 days of no power for there to be sewage running through the street. So something to plan for. Any other questions? Or anyone online?
I just wanted to say thank you for them coming out and presenting to the community. I know that you guys probably get a lot of, a lot of feedback, even though you're not the decision makers, you're just, filling the bill. But I think it's been very helpful to understand this and appreciate you, coming out and spending the time with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
I just want to make sure, we keep mentioning the 3 years for this project, but as Boyette is worked on, is constructed on, and it moves on, that roadway will be restored and then open back up to 6 lanes, to the 2 lanes, correct?
That's what I was thinking,
Yes.
that the phase construction.
So it'll be area set in 1 lane while
Yeah.
construction's happening, construction moves about 50 feet a day.
Yeah. But if you move,
It moves.
essentially you move.
You're still gonna have a bottleneck all the way down.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to make sure you understand.
No, I understand that, but right,
Yeah.
you'll have a bottleneck coming in and a bottleneck coming out. So either way, you're sitting in a bottleneck. And I would welcome anyone to come after 5 o'clock and go from 75 all the way down here and see how that, right, and right, without school, it's not that bad. When school's in session and everybody's trying to get home, and on top of that, it's, again,
February, we went to a Thanksgiving church, and we were traveling back at the time, so.
yeah,
Even though it was a bit here, we experienced it during COVID.
right. And I'm sure you will want to do that for a number of years. Right. So that's our concern. Again, speaking for the whole of the community and the people we represent, it's just, that's a lot to ask.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate you very much.